Hey guys, Joshua Gadamu here with another Custom Gundam MSI review, and today I'm reviewing a GATTLE resupply. This is a custom variation of my own that I made. It was, the other day I was just kind of bored. I really wanted to build something, but I didn't want to work on something hard, and I was just going through my parts, and I found that I had two GATTLEs in my collection, not my collection, but my spare parts bin, that didn't have any cockpits, and I'll show you what the regular GATTLE looks like, just for comparison. And it looks a little busy, but you'll see it here in a moment. So this is the basic version, and everybody loses these because they come out. They're escape pods, which is awesome. So I had two of these, where it's just no cockpits, and it's kind of hard to fly a GATTLE when you don't have a cockpit. And if getting replacement cockpits was easy for these, I wouldn't have two of them without them. So I thought, oh, what can I do? And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a GATTLE that could resupply mobile suits on the front lines? Because let's face it, a Zaku flies out. He might be out on the front lines. He may be running low on fuel, and ideally he flies back to a ship, gets refueled, gets new ammo, new weapons, etc. But what if the ship's too far? What if he's fighting in the shoal zone or something, and it's, like guerrilla warfare, and the ship would just be way too obvious? How do we get weapons to the front line? In all those World War II movies, you see guys running with ammo to the front line. Who does that in the One-Year War? The GATTLE resupply version. That's who does it, at least for Zeon. Because when your mobile suits are pinned down in space, behind, debris, dead ships, giant rocks floating in space, they need something to get to them. A little bit of inspiration came from the Gundam Thunderbolt version, which had a little thing which could attach to the cockpit of a Zaku, like so. My bazooka's in the way, but so we'll just take the bazooka off, and we'll do it like this. So the cockpit of the Zaku is right up there, a little square area. So this just matches right up with it. So the pilot of the Zaku can get out safely through the airlock into the GATTLE, can be replaced by a fresh pilot. That's kind of like in Thunderbolt. Some things I designed here, this is a receiver or a targeting system for lining up with the Zaku. This comes from an extended msia Gelgoog beam rifle. They like to break their back hilt, and so I just kind of pulled that out, stuck it on there. Fits quite nicely. This is the cockpit from a Shining Gundam. You can also use the Rising. This is an Epion version 1 forearm. I dug out the joint, and this is the Zaku tank bending mechanism for the Zaku tank alternate piece for the Zaku Deluxe pack. Built into there to be a handle, so our mobile suit can just hang on to it while he's resupplying. It comes out because I didn't want to glue it in. I wanted it to be able to turn. It takes a little work to get the Zaku's hand on there, but it's very doable. Little thrusters to help slow down its descent so that it can line up perfectly. You see the Thunderbolt version has all kinds of thrusters over the front of it. Down here, you see the Epion version 1, it matched up perfectly in color scheme. The shield doesn't patch up as perfectly as the forearm just because it's a painted piece, but it's pretty close. And so what we have here is this refueling cable, and this is basically the Epion's energy whip and the energy whip connector piece for its side armor and its shield. The shield fits over. So all our spare fuel for our Zaku is inside of this thing here. And so, there we go. Without the heavy-duty weapons all over it, you can see it here. You can fly up, catch up to the pilot. It may not need to link up with the pilot. The Zaku can just grab this and plant it into its skirt armor. It takes just a teeny bit of work. The last one had a heat hawk in it recently, so it was a little more stretched out. It's fighting me this time. There we go. So yeah, we're just floating in space. Maybe he's hanging on to the handle here because we're floating. We don't want to float away from each other. And now we're refueling our Zaku so he can continue to fight. Because actually the runtime on mobile suits, fuel-wise, is rather limited. The reactor's not going to run out of power, but fuel for flying through the air and stuff like that, it's going to get a little tough. Through the air, space, etc. And this can pull out here, because obviously we don't fly around with a cable floating around. So the basic version, you can see here the Heat Hawk fits into the side, so our Zaku can have a new Heat Hawk because his broke, or he dropped it in space and it floated away. We can hook him up with a fresh ammo clip. Got that from a broken Zaku 2 machine gun. This is the hand joint from the seed figures. Anyone will do. I just drilled a little hole into the bazooka. And the bazooka and the machine gun can fit on either side. So, you know, we can fly by and he can just grab a bazooka off of there. And now he's equipped to continue fighting on the front lines of space. You know, like, this could even be used at a Baoku or places like that. This doesn't have its ammo clip on top because it actually gets in the way of it hanging onto the GATTLE. And that can fit on either side. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, it does. Fits on either side. So yeah, not very hard to build. It was built using all common parts. Oh, the Epion side skirt is put up here just because it matched in color, and I thought that would make it look a little beefier and look cool. So yeah, that is my GATTLE resupply version. It's able to take fuel and resources to pilots out on the front lines of space and re-equip them for battle. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below. Please like, favorite, and subscribe as I post a new video nearly every day. And check out my eBay store. There's a link down below in the more info area. We have all kinds of cool toys there. See you guys later.